Hi, this is Stephanie from Enjoying the Intentional Life. We have a storm coming in our way. Our forecast includes about a 50% chance of tropical storm force winds. And with that comes increased chance of tornadoes. Branches may be coming down in our neighborhood. Less likely but still possible would be upturned trees. And so now's the time to start preparing for an emergency. Kidding, now's the time to finish putting our emergency plan in place. I want to show you what we're doing. First things first, we have this tree that's out by our street where we park that is very unhealthy. It's had some big branches come down before. I'm going to move my vehicle and my husband's vehicle a couple blocks away to a parking lot that doesn't have trees in it, and it is a higher elevation, so if we do get more rain than is expected, it's going to be safer and drier up there for it than it is down here. I have to move his car for him because anyone who's married to a sailor finds out very quickly you have to weather the storms alone, because the ships go out to sea and the sailors have to go with them. That's how it works. And I say alone, but really we've got a very supportive neighborhood, and I've got a good support network here. But you have to know what to do yourself and you're not able to just count on your husband to have some awesome survival skills and get you through stuff, because he needs to use his survival skills on something else right now, and I need to make sure my family is safe and taken care of. It is now afternoon. The tropical storm force winds haven't moved in yet. They're not expected for another hour or so. And not guaranteed to happen. It's always a percentage game with the weather. A storm might happen or it might not, or it might move north or it might move south. But preparedness is about being prepared in case it happens. It's like wearing a seatbelt. You don't wear a seatbelt in a car because you expect to get in a car accident that day or that week or that month. But you know that one day it is possible to happen, and you're going to fare a lot better if you have that seatbelt. That's what emergency preparedness is about. It's not going around screaming that the sky is going to fall in and that the worst is going to happen. It's expecting things to be okay, but being prepared for if they're not. So the things that could go wrong with a tropical storm coming in, there's the flooding in the rainwaters, there are down branches or upturned trees, and there is a possible power outage. I'm sure other people could name more, but those are the three that are on my mind today. For the branches, I moved our vehicles, which were in a place that I felt was dangerous for them, with the tree, an older tree that's lost branches before and has big heavy branches that were situated right above them. Hopefully nothing falls on the house. I don't think anything will. If it does, I have a hatchet and work gloves and neighbors' houses that I could go to if I needed to. So I found out our elevation above sea level. I found out how much storm surge is expected, how much rainwater is expected, and even if it was twice what the expected amount was, it still wouldn't quite be lapping at our front door. So I feel comfortable as far as that goes. So power outage is a big thing that I'm focused on preparing for now. With some storms, we ourselves are not going to have something dramatic, pretty sure. But a state to the south, there is a hurricane that is hitting, and there's going to be a lot of damage in that state. I would expect widespread power outages that may take at least a week, if not a month, to be resolved, as the damage there is going to be pretty catastrophic. Now, would that possibly affect how quickly our power gets turned back on? Probably not, but I feel like for emergency preparedness, being prepared to live for a week without power is a fairly good thing that's going to get you through a lot of emergencies. So, sorry, that was my bread machine. I'm trying to make some rolls before things get too windy this afternoon. So my fallback plan: how am I going to cook? What's the heating like? Do I have light? It's September. I'm not too concerned about heating and air conditioning. It may not be ideal. Things might get uncomfortable, but it's not going to be a survival situation like it would be in, say, January or July. So I'm not too worried about that. We'll just have to dress up or dress down depending on what happens there. But we have, so that leaves us with the lights and the food. So for lights, you have a couple different things you can go with. You have flashlights and you have lanterns. I like, for family power outages, I really like having a big lantern because it allows you to just turn it on, set it in the middle of the dining room table or in the living room, and so it just does a pretty good job giving lighting for the whole room. Not the same as if you had an overhead light on, but much better than a flashlight. And you can play a game with the kids or read a book, and it's much more comfortable. So we got this one at Costco. It is, my husband picked it up. I like the classic look to it. It is heavy. This thing takes 8 D batteries. But the reason for that is it doubles as a charger for devices. It has this little thing that peels back and you can charge things. So that's my backup for charging things as well. And we do have more D batteries in the house. I'm not as big of a fan of flashlights for power outages, but it's much better than using your cell phone, especially if you don't have a way to charge it, because it's going to drain your cell phone's battery very quickly and you could be in trouble with that. And the flashlights can be useful even if you have the lantern, if somebody's going off to a different room, or if someone wants more concentrated light on their book or going off to the bathroom. Those are good. Our favorite flashlight we have here is a pen light. It is nice and small and you can tuck it in a pocket quite easily, as the name implies, but it's also quite bright. Now for food, we have our Dutch oven and we have our camp stove. Realistically, I've used the Dutch oven some. We just bought it last year. We only have one dish that we've really perfected on it, and that's a dessert. So I don't want to count on that too much, but I did get supplies to make that dessert twice. I got charcoal, and if the neighborhood ends up having a clean out your freezer neighborhood barbecue thing, I could make that and bring that, and that could be my contribution. And that would be fun. For most of the cooking though, I'm counting on our 2-burner camp stove. We keep it in its box most of the time. And for power, we have a little propane thing. I want to get more, but I hadn't done it in advance like I should have. And we're trying to decide what to do. This was Monday when there's still a 10% chance that we might end up getting some of this hurricane. And people were buying out the store shelves. We do have a gas fire pit, and we have a big propane thing for that, but it takes a different hookup. So my brilliant husband, he got on Amazon on Monday and found the propane hose adapter. So one end can twist into the camp stove and the other twists into the big propane stove, and it has a long enough cord that you can have your propane tank down on the ground and your camp stove up on a table. So I'm really excited about that. So what could we be cooking on our camp stove? Mostly I want to stick with things that just involve boiling water. I want things that are simple, that have minimal cleanup, because if we are in an emergency situation, where's our hot water? Where are the things we usually use for cleaning dishes? So things are a bit compromised there. We have, ramen. The nice thing about this is you don't have to dirty your pot for it. You can boil your water and then carefully pour really hot water over the ramen that's in a bowl and let it sit for a few minutes, and that will get it adequately cooked. We also have pastaroni. Typically it calls for butter, but I have shortening and coconut oil in this cupboard, and either one could be used as a substitute for that, so I wouldn't have to open the fridge in a power outage. It does call for milk, but if you get the shelf-stable milk that you can find with the evaporated milk, or just use evaporated milk, then that's fine. And another thing that doesn't dirty up is canned soup. So if you have a pot, take the labels off, take the lids off, put your canned soup in the pot and put water in it till about this high, not all the way up. You can use that water to heat the soup while it's still in the cans, and the dish out of the cans. And again, you don't have a pot to wash. Instant oatmeal is similar to ramen in that you can put it in a bowl and put the hot water on top. You really don't need your water to be boiling as long as it's clean and hot. Although the instructions do call for boiling. Hot chocolate, again, nice comfort food for kids. And if you have cups that can take it, you can put it in the cup, pour the boiling water on. Now, stovetop stuffing is a little trickier because you have to put your butter in. So you're going to have to clean the pan just like you would with the pastaroni, but it has a minimal cook time. So the angel hair pasta here and the stovetop stuffing, both of them, you bring to a boil and it's done within a few minutes of that time. So you're not simmering something away for 30 minutes, which is going to be using up your propane. And if we get tired of everything else, I picked up some pancake mix. We do have a griddle that is made to go on top of the 2 burners. We tried it out last year. I didn't love it, but if we did have oatmeal every morning for a week, we might change it up with some pancakes, and that would be good. You might notice the apple juice over here. I had fortunately picked up some water for our emergency supplies just last Friday before everyone panicked and before this was really on people's radars. When I went, the big jugs were gone. They sell water bottles, but the big jugs were gone. But I noticed the juice aisle was still fully stocked with juice. So I picked up a few gallons of apple juice as just another backup fluid resource for keeping everyone hydrated. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on Enjoying the Intentional Life.